La, 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 la. Hey, Doobs, how we doing? Sorry, I was just working my mouth to get ready for this fantastic edition of the Doobisode series, where we're going to just do a weekly roundup of the gaming news, just get going. I like to do these live just to interact with you all, and thank you so much for joining with me. We've had a lot of new fun people join us, and we're just getting the streams going. I have been moving recently, the almighty move, right? It's been a real pain in the rear. But we're getting there. You can see the background's getting there. I just got to sort all my but I have some fun stuff they can look at while we're talking about gaming news or when we're just on regular live stream. Sorry, I'm kind of hunched over on my chair. We're getting there. But yeah, hope you're all having a great day. I know there's still always crazy BS going on in the world. Voices need to be heard, and I hope you all are just safe, having a great day as can be anyway. I know that's kind of a weird question to ask right now, but yeah, things are still happening in the world. So that's why we just need to take a break, talk about gaming news weekly, and I just wanted to get this out. I will be going on a small little vacation, half a week next week, so I just want to get out as many streams. We just beat Samurai Jack. We're going through Mortal Shell, and so yeah, we're gonna get through it right now. So hope you're having a great day. Please make sure, if you can, to give the video a like, share, follow if you haven't. We're doing the things on YouTube, we're doing the things on Facebook, and I might get back to some Twitch things going on, just spreading the passion as much as we can. But I like doing these episodic formats, like just kind of sitting down, catching up, and getting through a couple of things. So yeah, if you're new to the Doob Radical Gaming Club here, we do a movie of the week. We're going to kick it off with the movie of the week. Sometimes we just have to rest our little fingers with some quality cinema, and so I kind of get inspired by these movies weekly. I watch a lot of movies, and it's just a great medium, and we're seeing that, you know, trickle into the gaming world 10 times fold now. You know, video games are just pretty much movies where your significant other who's maybe not so much into gaming can actually really get involved in with the story, you know. But yeah, so movies are king, though. Just let the tape roll and have a good time with it. So yeah, last week we had the Butterfly Effect, and just a nice little time brain teaser. It's kind of hard to do time travel and make it coherent and make sense, so you just gotta kind of let that go. There's so many different ways of time travel working, but yeah, we're just gonna go for a straight up powerful action film with very amazing choreography. I'm probably going to be talking about The Matrix at some point, but I'm talking about real life Wing Chun. Yeah, and if you know what I'm talking about there, of course, I am talking about one of a very surprising movie genre that I've gotten into recently, and talking about Japanese kung fu martial arts. I'm actually a black belt in real life, and I recently just kind of sat down and was like, wow, these are a great series of films. They just released the 4th one on Netflix, and yeah, Ip Man, starring Donnie Yen, that really takes through the life of this real life Wing Chun martial arts instructor. It's kind of a martial arts based off of blocking and attacking at the same time, and you'll really kind of get to know the actual martial art and plenty of other martial arts if you watch these movies. Tai Chi, even boxing, and they really kind of play the whole, you know, American versus Chinese arts. Yeah, Ip Man is Chinese, and in the first movie specifically, it's kind of interesting to see the struggle of the Japanese and Chinese war and the invasion, and kind of that all happened with this really amazing instructor of Ip Man who taught, they really play it up, is the man who taught Bruce Lee. And of course, Bruce Lee, you kind of see this in the movie too, but really brought martial Chinese fighting arts to the US and even the whole world now. But Ip Man is really the one that kind of started all, and we could record him in history, and Donnie Yen just snaps. If you want a movie with great, amazing choreography, martial arts that I think is a really true representation of what this art is, interwoven with a story that's powerful, not the most exploitative, and not the most deep, rich story, but it does it really well. It just does exactly what it needs to intertwine the story bits with Ip Man's life, with some really kick-ass scenery and amazing fight sequences. So yeah, Netflix did just release the 4th movie. There's a couple of spin-offs of this as well. Full disclosure, by the way, I'm not playing Fall Guys. We just have the music. We like to honor things in the background because this is a primarily gaming channel. So sorry, we're not actually playing Fall Guys here, but really want to honor the music. But it, man, is such a powerfully moving, super woke dialogue. And watch this in Cantonese. You have to watch this in its true vocal dialect. And yeah, and I hate to say kind of like it's a foreign film, but you know, it's a great way in cinema that we can learn from other cultures, experience different actors, so we're not just watching Liam Neeson and Chris Hemsworth on screen all the time. So it's a great way to just really experience a fresh take on cinema. And man, if you have never really experienced other movies that were produced in other countries, you've got to get on that, because it is such a fresh take, especially if you're into I have to have an honorable mention here with Train to Busan. If you're into a zombie movie, that is also on Netflix. Train to Busan is a great zombie flick that really just I feel like things that we just don't really see the best quality here, or what really matters in certain genre type movies. But it, man, is an amazing film with some great fight scenes. I mean, really watch this movie for the fight scenes, and then you'll get a great story interwoven, and you'll just want to see the same thing 3 times over after you watch the first It Man. But I really do kind of recommend starting with the first one and just kind of seeing the progression of It Man's story here. And kind of how it intertwines, of course, with Bruce Lee and the teachings of him. So yeah, give that a look. I just always want to start these Doobisodes with the movie of the week to give our little fingers a rest. And we'll get right into the gaming news here. I know it's been a little bit since I've really reported and done some things, but I just really like to mix up the content on the Doob Radical Gaming channel here, where we do live streams, reviews, old school retro plays, the Doobie classics, and I know I have to do some of those as well, but we'll talk about some future games here in a little bit. I just want to get over the gaming news here, just keep it snappy. So yeah, we've recently been hearing rumblings, this was about a couple weeks ago, about the PS5 not being quite well, we already know the PS5 is not as quite as strong as the Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series X is very touting itself as the most powerful console, and that's a true fact. I mean, that's just a true, hard, plain as bones fact when you see it on paper. I know Microsoft recently did have a huge teardown, I believe they call it, where they really opened up the Xbox Series X and showed the GPUs, the CPUs. I think it has like 40 gigabytes RAM of processing power and a couple extra teraflops there as far as memory goes. So yeah, so it's going to be more powerful, but you know, we just really haven't seen the games yet. That's kind of a different discussion there, but it's a huge war between Sony and Microsoft and how they're presenting their information right now. But I guess, yeah, Dust Golem, a couple weeks ago, Dust Golem is kind of a leaker of sorts, and he kind of talks about information specifically with survival horror games, and he was talking about Resident Evil 8 not quite keeping up frame rate wise running on a PS5. We actually did see Resident Evil 8 running on a PS5 when the PlayStation had their game showcase in June. I believe it was June now. Man, time flies. Maybe July. But they had their game showcase where we first discovered Resident Evil 8 running on a PS5, and you could actually see the frame rate kind of flicker within the trailer, which is always kind of questionable, but at least we're seeing gameplay on a PS5. We just really haven't even seen that yet with Xbox Series X. I know we had the Halo gameplay, but that was running on a PC, I believe. And we'll get to more news on that in a little bit, but I guess a couple days later, developers who have PS5 dev kits shut the idea. They were saying, you know what, no, PlayStation can really run their games. Of course, there's bugs and they're still working on things. And even though that we did see this in real life, that's just kind of a bunch of baloney that I'm not pointing fingers, but like people like Xbox fanboys are just running with. They're going to report on anything that's going to shut PS5 down. You know, this is primarily a PlayStation gaming channel, but I love everything games. I'm just kind of sees it how as I sees it here, and I'm just explaining what's going on in the gaming realm. But I think we won't get too many issues when the PS5 releases. We'll get the occasional blip in frame rates, and we did get an amazing reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, a direct sequel to Black Ops today, and that has exclusive content coming to PS5, and it's just kind of another nail in Xbox's coffin. PlayStation and Sony specifically are really getting all their ducks in a row. Activision and Sony has had a great run of collaboration there, and it's really cool to see kind of a direct continuation of Black Ops. It seems that the gameplay that we saw is very favorable. Again, another gameplay session we actually witnessed on a running PlayStation 5. They mentioned that the content we saw today that just came out today was running on a PlayStation, and it's just nice to see that we're actually seeing some real hardware running action going on. We haven't seen too much. I'm not really sure if we saw PlayStation Spider-Man Miles Morales actually running on the PS5. We saw like snippets of gameplay, but we actually did see real footage running today. And I'm not a huge Call of Duty Warfare guy, but it's really funny. I'm getting ahead, but I just gotta get my picture up here. But yeah, so we're just getting, of course, slower rumblings. I'm going on a tangent, but don't worry about the PS5. You may have heard rumors about it running lower frame rates, and there is going to be a technical difference between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and there will be differences, especially with cross-gen titles and playing it best on Xbox, and they will probably be able to be played best on Xbox. I'm not going to argue the facts that we see on the paper, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter when some of those aspects are so minute and minuscule that the average gamer won't really care about. I mean, really, that's the bottleneck here. Really hardcore players that have the 65-inch 4K TV QLED running with an Xbox Series X on performance mode or resolution mode, whichever you prefer. But when you're running usually on performance mode, they're going to be very similar, and we're going to just be seeing 4K, 60 FPS, maybe looks like maybe more so 120 FPS on Xbox, which is really exciting to hear. But just as far as the PS5 slightly significantly underpowered as composed to the Xbox, it's minute, and it's just going to really come down to which console you want to buy for the games. I mean, really, that's just going to be the end-all be-all. We're just months away from the release of this console, so I do want to kind of just update some news on that. It seems the prices and release dates are all but confirmed at this point. It seems, and especially the news we got from the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War trailer we got today, the release date is November 13th, and the leaked insiders are saying that we are actually going to be seeing the PS5 release November 14th in Japan first. There's going to be a first reveal there in Japan, and then a week later in the US we're going to be getting the PS5, and then in UK and all the other parts of the world, which is strange because originally the PS5 has actually released in the States first and then in Japan. So it's kind of questionable there. It's kind of a head scratcher if that's actually going to be a thing. It kind of seemed like Sony was really talking up the idea of having a unified world release of this console. And that's just going to be really hard if someone else gets it first and I just got to wait a week to get a PS5. But that's okay. I mean, Sony's got to do what they got to do. They got to release things when whatever seems planned out right. So I guess we'll see what really Sony does there. But yeah, as far as so we talked about the release date. As far as the price goes, it seems like we're going to be getting a $399.99 US release of the digital only version of the PS5 and a $499.99 release of the one with the optical disc drive. So there's going to be $100 difference, and that just seems very legit to me. Seems like the price. I think that's kind of what we're getting at. I remember kind of when we were first hearing rumblings of the next gen, they're talking about, ray tracing is super expensive, and they're using AMD Ryzen 9 core processors that are really only PCs, and these consoles are going to be $800 to $1,000. I just didn't really see that price point being, very favorable for an average consumer standpoint. Again, we keep coming back to the average consumer standpoint, but that's really the target audience. That's what makes the money for these companies. Of course, our hardcore gamers, they're already sold. They're going to buy it. It's about convincing that middle to lower than middle audience, hey, this is a machine you want to have in your home. We're going to be producing content that you're going to want to play, hardcore, casual gamer or not. And so I think that $400, $500 price point is absolutely the way they're going to go. Of course, Sony and I think, Microsoft are going to take a hit. It seems Microsoft might go a little lower with maybe a $300, $400, or even $450 scale. Hard to say with their digital edition as well. So I guess we will see what Microsoft comes back with. But it seems like the inside reports, or at least what I've been hearing, is that we're going to be getting that $400, $500 sweet spot, and that we're going to be getting pre-order information September 19th or September 9th. Sorry, it's going to be September 9th, according to leaked insiders. So hopefully we actually do get that information. I remember they were kind of talking June and then July and then August, and these are only months away. So we got to know some pre-order. We got to know some dates. We got to start saving up for this, or no one's going to have the time or money to play these consoles when they come out, presumably in November. So really excited about that. And just kind of talking forward with the gaming and the next gen and all the things that's going on. We've been hearing a lot of games talk about free next gen upgrades here. And so one game that's kind of caused some rumblings recently is Control. I think this was a great title. Came out last year, is kind of the successor to Alan Wake, and just really produced and developed by Remedy, or not produced, but developed by Remedy Entertainment using ray tracing, really pushing the power of the consoles and the PC. Man, the physics were crazy. Yeah, the game was a little maybe clusterfucky at some times, but overall the experience was great. The story was so out there, and the animations and models just played really well. So I had a feeling we were going to be getting a lot of these games that just came out in the past couple of years getting a next gen upgrade, and it seemed like people like CD Projekt Red or even EA giving their free next gen upgrades, although there is caveats to EA. Of course, you only have a certain time to get the free upgrade to next gen. But yeah, people are a little miffed that Control is getting a Ultimate Edition released at a modest $40 for the complete gaming, all the DLC, but you're gonna have to repurchase all of that to get the true next gen experience. If you own Control now on the PS4 or Xbox One X, you will be able to play that in your next gen console, but you won't get the next gen upgrades that you need to actually purchase the Ultimate Edition with all the game and the DLC to actually get these true upgrades. And people are pissed, and they thought Remedy was one of the good guys, but at the end of the day, it just kind of seems like a business decision. I think the game came out just a little too early for them to really think about effectively making a next-gen transition here. And hey, personally, I would spend another $40 to witness this experience. I haven't played the DLC, and I think it would be a great entryway into next-gen, albeit, you got to save up another $40, even if you've already spent $60 plus the $20 or $30 to get the next gen things too. So yeah, I guess I'd be a little pissed if I spent close to $100 just to spend another $40 on probably what's going to be a legitimate experience in next gen. So that would just be nice if they could just do it for free. But at the end of the day, video games are just a business. They got to do what they got to do. And really, hopefully, speaking of Remedy, though, I really hope we get some sort of Alan Wake announcement or remaster. It seems like there's some rumblings there, man. I feel like we've been hearing so many games slowly being revitalized, and hopefully we get that Silent Hill and other smaller titles that are just Demon Souls, just a lot of games that are celebrated in Sony's life cycle, just getting these next gen editions. So yeah, I guess we'll see. That's just how it's going to be with Control. If you want the complete Ultimate Edition for next gen, you're going to have to shell out another $40 to get the true next gen experience. Albeit you still can pop in your disc, and it seems like you can still play it, just not with all the shit you already paid for, essentially. So yeah, that's going to kind of do it for that. I thought I'd just kind of mention that. So yeah, and then just switching over to the Microsoft side of things, we have more Halo news. Man, it is the gift that keeps on giving here with Halo. We had a somewhat rocky presentation at the game showcase, and it was the only game that we saw actually gameplay to when Microsoft had their showcase. It looked fine. It looked really cool, touching on nostalgic features and just the overall look of the game, but it still looked pretty lackluster from what we should be seeing from a next-gen title. And it seems that 343 Studios has been having some people have been talking that it's just a disaster there, and maybe there's some hard working conditions, and it seems like Microsoft is kind of taking away this idea. So originally they were saying it's going to be a launch title for the Xbox One Series X in November, and now they took that away and saying this game is not coming out till 2021. And now they're saying, this game was supposed to actually come out on Xbox One Series X and the Xbox One X, so everybody can play their game on every console at the same time. But now it looks like they're chopping the Xbox One X version and saving that to release to 2022. Who's going to be playing Xbox One X in 2022? I know these consoles have a lot of heart and life left in them. But who is going to be, really waiting around to play Halo Infinite on a previous gen console almost 2 years after the release of the next gen consoles? I think these, the PS4 and the Xbox One X, they do have a lot of life left, but I think by that time most people are going to decide whether they're still going to be gamers and really get into dipping into the hardcore community, just getting that next gen console. But I guess, there is going to be a lot of people that are still, again, casual and are going to be waiting till 2022 to play Halo Infinite when it was supposed to be a launch title for the Xbox One Series X. I guess the biggest game that was really going to be the console seller when this thing released in November. And with Sony, they have claimed and are really claiming, and I think this is for sure, that Miles Morales is going to be a launch title, albeit it be again another one of those discounted titles that's only going to be releasing at $40 or $50, something like that. And we're not even going to get into that next gen titles might be even more expensive as time goes on, which they will. But this is still going to be a $40 title for Sony. It sounds like we're getting, Gamescom is tomorrow. That's actually a huge event, by the way. And I think it sounds like Sony is going to be showing Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which looks awesome. And it just seems like Sony I'm not trying to be a Sony pony here, but it just seems like PlayStation really has their ducks in a row with their plans going forward. Sure, maybe the console might not be as strong as the Xbox One Series X, but they got the games, they got the data, and they're holding their cards just close enough to their chest to slowly dribble out information and keep us exciting for what's to come and what's coming forward, what they're giving us when these next-gen consoles actually release, and what they're giving, a couple of years down the road. We're definitely getting titles like God of War 5, definitely getting a real Spider-Man 2 game, and I am just excited to see Horizon 2. We've seen that, and hopefully this Demon Souls remake will actually be a launch title for the PS5. That would be a very nice treat. And of course, we've also, just to touch on the release news, it sounds like a lot of devs and the CEO and head of Sony is saying that this is going to be the greatest launch lineup in PlayStation's history, which I can believe. That's not really a hard That's not really hard to top. That's not saying much, really, but it's just exciting that they're excited, and Sony seems really excited. And don't get me wrong, Phil Spencer seems excited. He's probably the most excited guy about next gen, the head of Microsoft Gaming Studios. I love the guy. I kind of like the way he carries himself. He's just in it for the gamer. You can tell he's in it for the gamer. But let's just see the damn games, Phil. Let's just see the damn games. But I digress here. I'm just kind of talking about just the fact that they're just putting Halo Infinite on the cutting board and just really focusing to make Halo Infinite the best Halo ever is kind of what they're getting at. They really just need to focus, I guess. From a report I heard, I think by Polygon, it seems that cross-gen, next-gen development games coming out on this gen and next gen is painful. And when I think they say painful, I think it's painful that they have to dip their game down to fit this generation as well and not just going all out with the next gen. And that's really where Sony is striking it hard. They're just like, look, let's get these games just for next gen. It's unfortunate that you have to buy a new console to play it, but it's going to look beautiful and it's going to look the best it can be. And that's where I am as far as a quality standpoint. You know, you really don't get much better than that. So, cheers to you, Sony, and cheers to you, Microsoft. I mean, they have a good strategy of backwards compatibility, playing any of their games on an Xbox One or a PC. There's going to be a lot of cross playability there, so I think that will come to really making an accessible gaming platform in the future. But that's just about it for Halo. So let's just keep going on with the gaming news here. I just wanted to mention quick, we got a Nintendo Direct today, and it just seems like Nintendo can't please anyone right now. Nintendo has really taken this year off. Granted, it was really nice to get the Super Paper Mario game, the Origami King, that came out not too long ago. That was really cool, the same day as Ghost of Tsushima, actually. They really announced that game just a month or two before the games were released, and I kind of like how they kept that a secret, and that was kind of big. But that's really the only big thing this year. We've gotten a couple Pokemon DLCs, but other than that, we really haven't gotten too much from Nintendo. And just to really talk about that, it seems like they are talking about the next gen Switch. It's not going to be a Switch Pro. That idea it's just too far gone for Nintendo to release a Switch Pro. They got to keep with the times. They actually got to come out with a true next gen console. Yeah, this is from a Taipei newspaper, Economic Daily, that kind of spilled the beans on Nintendo in the rumblings and slowly producing the next gen console. And maybe we'll hear something. It seems how Nintendo can just run their own damn game and no one cares. And it's sad to be a Nintendo fan right now, honestly. That's the best way to say it. I mean, you can play Fire Emblem and Super Smash Brothers all day, but really, where's Metroid Prime 4? Where's Metroid Prime 4? Where is it? Where's Resident Evil 2 Master Ultimate Nemesis Edition on the Switch? That would be amazing. I mean, that would just... what have they been working on? Is my real question. But that's okay. It seems like they're doing stuff. They're just very quiet. If anyone plays the long game, it's Nintendo with their innovativeness, with their just their slow pacing, and then just the quality, super genuine looks of their games. I mean, Paper Mario Origami King got decently reviewed. It's not the greatest game. It was a little easy, but once you really get into the world, you can tell it's like kind of like Pixar. You immediately know, okay, that's a Pixar movie, and that's kind of the way Nintendo is. It's easily identifiable. And I just really want them to see coming strong and having a good year. Granted, this is all with a grain of COVID. The pandemic is really slowing down production of games and consoles and news in general. So just want to give you guys a heads up on the Nintendo front. I do love a good Smash. But again, this is mostly a PlayStation primary channel. But just wait. Nintendo stuff is coming. just seems like you're gonna have to wait for it a little bit. But yeah, and I just want to kind of get the gaming news out of here before we get the future of games. I don't mean to take up too much of your time. Sorry, I kind of get on a rant and just talk about my feelings and thoughts about things. But let's keep going on it here. So yeah, we have EA Sports. It's in the game. Man, oh man, EA. The gift that keeps on giving as long as you pay for it. They are now currently getting sued by over 100 parties. I'm just saying parties. I'm not sure if these are individual people, but people are pissed about this continuation battle of loot boxes and gambling. Yeah, I think maybe if you're even a casual gamer, or even play EA, FIFA, Madden, you know all about the loot packs and spending real life money, your hard real life earned money on digital Lionel Messi. That's a tough sell, and you're only maybe getting them, and it's just toxic. I think that's just the best overall one word. It's toxic, it's unhealthy, and it's cruel to, especially for young developing children who are, love video games. That's how I grew to love video games. If I was 7 years old, I wouldn't know any better, and I'd spend all my parents' credit card money on booster packs. And when it's funny I say booster packs because I was a Pokemon and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh fan growing up, and I actually got the physical card. I wasn't gambling away. I mean, booster packs are kind of gambling too. This is you're only paying for maybe a chance to actually get something you want, but EA is in hot water, and I feel like I keep hearing this news story come about, and I just have to spread the word about this because I just really dislike something that's bad for the gaming community, and this is about as toxic as it gets. And this started, back when Battlefront 2 came out, over 2 years ago now. This thing is still being fought. They haven't forgotten. People have not forgotten. There's a bunch of faces and names that are really pushing for EA to just shut that shit down, in the words of Negan from The Walking Dead, also an honorable mention. But so let's it's just an ugly thing that so many people are conglomerating to really just get, just EA. At the end of the day, it's just because they just made so much money on these microtransaction culture. It started late last gen or even mid gen, and the EA just ran with it. And I'm all for quality DLC and paid thing. I'm not against DLC. I'm against the chance at a good DLC that you paid your hard-earned money for, when you might just not even be able to really use that character, or you're just, it is like buying a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You'll buy 10 packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, maybe get 2 cards that you'll actually maybe use if you even play the game, and then the rest are just going to sit in a box for 10 years until you sell them on eBay. And you can't even do that with digital Lionel Messi. I mean, come on. So that was my small rant about EA, just because, over 100 parties are suing EA, actually suing them in a class action lawsuit. For all my Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul friends out there, they're gonna really lay down the hammer on them, and we'll see how this really promotes to the next gen, because you can play their games. You're gonna be able to get free next gen upgrades if you buy Madden and FIFA and all these games coming out, but you only have a small 3-month window. Otherwise, you are gonna have to purchase that next gen upgrade. They're just milking us. They got the udders by the balls, and they're just milking us for all the money. And again, I just really dislike things that are toxic for the gaming community, and this is one of them. So let's really just come together and FEA in the A, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that just because it's good. Voices need to be heard, and I know there needs to be way more powerful voices to be heard right now. There's a lot going on. Hope you all are safe. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch just some local small startup streamer talk about gaming content, but we gotta take a break from it all, really. But that's pretty much the gaming news I want to cover. And of course, I also just kind of want to quick talk about future stuff. This is kind of in relative to games, but I don't have a picture for this one. But looks like we are actually getting a Mass Effect remaster. It's unclear if it's a remaster or remake, but there was a leaker that posted content for future upcoming games that haven't been announced yet. And of course, the title of this game is Remaster with double S's for Mass Effect. And it seems like, yeah, EA actually does, foot the bill and produce this game. And, of course, man, a BioWare thing back in the day. So this is coming out in October. So this is kind of what I was saying about this generation. Still does have a lot of life left to live and give in the upcoming years. And it seems like, yeah, developers we're still getting remasters for this gen. And that's kind of partially because we still don't have dates for next gen. And but that's really exciting. I actually do have my Mass Effect 3 collector's edition right here. I'm a huge Mass Effect guy, and I remember back when that was a 360 exclusive, and then they eventually got ported to PS3, and that was a big deal because PS3 really took off in the later years of its life cycle. It really did become a household console. And it was just time for EA to put this on PlayStation. And I'm really glad by the time the third game came out, it came out simultaneously released. And that would be really cool to just, even if it is a remaster, it would be really cool to just play the first game again with maybe not only the graphics, but maybe the gameplay mechanics of the future games. I think Mass Effect is one of those series where the gameplay does progressively get better, maybe, but again, people will really argue which story is the best. But the gameplay, I believe, does get better. So it'd be really cool to see Mass Effect. This is still a rumor. We still don't have an actual announcement of this game, but really excited if it's true. Definitely would play the shit out of it. And so yeah, just really wanted to mention that and just kind of talk about, yeah. And I don't have a picture for this one, but another upcoming title that actually did get a really crazy gameplay trailer, and I wish I got a picture for this, but I'm lazy and tired. Yeah, we have a Black Myth Wukong. This is, I guess, an indie developer who's kind of going into the triple foray, based in Japan. Black Myth Wukong, a game that's based on story Journey from the West, or Journey to the West, with, of course, Dragon Ball is actually based on this story. And there's a bunch of different, man, you just got to look it up. Black Myth Wukong. We had a 14-minute gameplay demonstration. It looks incredibly amazing, and I think is a realistic representation of next gen games. The way the hair was flowing, the way the monkey got caught on fire and was trying to pat itself out mid gameplay, with all the crazy transformations that your protagonist can do. And it kind of reminded me of Heavenly Sword a little bit when they first announced Heavenly Sword, and they're like, look how many enemies are on screen and they all have their distinct AI. It kind of just gave me that vibe of really something that looked new and exciting, and really can't wait to see more. And the game has got nothing but positive reception and excitement, and hopefully we really do get an official amazing release in the States, because I think this is being produced and developed by Japanese developers, and sometimes they just really don't make it all the way. But yeah, so we got Black Myth Wukong. Look up that trailer. The Mass Effect trilogy is in talks to be coming out in October, and I just really want to let you guys know that this Friday, yes, Captain Tsubasa is actually coming out. We've had a big string of games come out recently, with Mortal Shell, Samurai Jack, a lot of smaller games, a lot of budgeted discount titles that are great, but this is actually a full $60 release. I actually really do like games like FIFA and PES, but this is kind of my dream game. This is an anime soccer game where the story, I guess I watched my boy Globku on YouTube. I'll look it up. I'll try to tag him if I can, if I remember, but I suck at that. But Globku gave an amazing preview of this game and really talked about how the story is actually really good, and there's really cool moments worked into actual gameplay of everything just feels real and impressive. And I'm just really excited to see some really dirty kicks and Really just, this, it seems kind of like a game for people who aren't really into soccer. And the series is based off of an old manga from like the 70s or 80s. This Captain Tsubasa has been around a long time, just really hasn't gotten a lot of love in the States. Maybe if just more, culty and, groupie for this title. But it is very popular in Japan, and really excited to just, stream this game and play for you and really check out a good story. I did play the FIFA 19 story. I did play the stories. They're okay. They're fun. I just like to play FIFA. I just like to play some soccer and not, that's really, I guess, the biggest sports game that I like to play. But I'm really excited for this upcoming release. And I did want to, check that out Friday, coming out August 28th. Still waiting on my Destroy All Humans Collector's Edition. I don't know what's up. I had to get it from Target. I think it was just such a hard thing to get a hold of, and I think I pre-ordered that right on the end, and I think Target was like, oh shit, we don't know what to do, we actually don't have this, and I think they're just back ordering the hell out of it right now from wherever they got to get it. But so Captain Tsubasa is coming up, and just some other games that I really do want to play. When I was playing Samurai Jack Battle Through Time, which is great, and I'll give my final thoughts on that soon. But this is actually the collector's edition of Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Really reminded me of classic Ninja Gaiden, and I am gonna play this for you guys at some point. Maybe we can do a one run. But man, Alma was like the first boss I really had a hard time on, and I still haven't opened Daymare 1998. This is a originally a fan-made RE2 remake, and then Capcom's like, no, please stop, we're making one, don't worry. And so they just turned it into their own game, and I actually got the black edition, the kind of the collector's edition of this game. I really just wanted to support Destructive Creations and GS2 Games, and really, this game has gotten not really a whole lot of love, honestly. I watched a couple of my YouTubers stream it and talk about it a little bit, but really Daymare 1998 kind of came and went without too much love, so I'd really like to appreciate that. And I guess it really is a true continuation of, legitimately, it says on the back of the box, I think it says, 1998 is a third-person survival horror game that recreates the mood of iconic titles from the 90s with a fresh storyline. So it really says, hey, if you were into 90s survival horror games, this is a game for you. And of course, Doobs, I'm gonna get it at some point, but yes, I will be playing Metal Gear Solid 3. This is actually the limited edition subsistence. This is probably worth a couple bucks. But I really do want to do a non-lethal run of Metal Gear Solid 3 at some point. I know that was meant to be the 100 followers special, and now I think we're past 300 already. If you can, please just make sure to give a like, share, subscribe on all the channels, whatever you're watching on. It really does just mean a lot. And I just want to finish off by letting you guys know we did get the PS Plus September free games. Which we are getting, Street Fighter V, the all classic, the game that really got modern fighting esports into our bellies, Street Fighter, and it's really taken a long, hard road of becoming a really good fighter with just adding on content. We did get that kind of ugly in-game advertisement with some microtransaction-y stuff for Street Fighter V, but it is a solid, balanced fighter. And it really worked hard to become more of a at-home, in-house staple. And I'm really glad we're getting it for free. I can actually finally sit down with it. I never really wanted to pay for it. So this is a great time. I'm into fighters. We play a lot of Dragon Ball FighterZ and Mortal Kombat, so it is hard to kind of sit down and learn fighting games. It takes a long time, maybe even more than single player action adventure, whatever storylines where you're just in it for a story. But fighters take a long time. And of course, another competitive game that really kicked off the battle royale scene, we're getting PUBG we're getting PUBG Battlegrounds, Player Unknown Battlegrounds. This is really what kicked off the battle royale scene. And we got Fortnite, and we just got a slew of them. And it seems like maybe this type of game really inspired Fall Guys Ultimate Knockdown, which is the music I'm playing for the stream. And it did just become announced that this is the most downloaded PS Plus free game of all time. And I can obviously see why. You will definitely be the most pissed off person playing this game. I'm still salty about a victory I didn't claim. I still haven't claimed one. We're gonna get there. But man, is this game great, and it is officially the most downloaded PS Plus freebie. And we've had some good ones, but this is what's it. So yeah, so for September, we will be getting Street Fighter V, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and I've never actually really played a whole lot of. I haven't played player PUBG at all, so I'm really excited to maybe just finally check that out, give it a stream. But I wanted to announce that, and yeah, and then I'm always excited to see what new games we're getting on PlayStation now, as I am a subscriber to that. I really do recommend getting PlayStation Now when you see it on a insane discount for maybe like $40, $50, maybe $60 a year. There's some great titles on there, especially if you got the internet connection. There's so many classics that's fun to revisit. That's probably how I'll play Metal Gear Solid and Ninja Gaiden Sigma when I finally stream that for you guys. But woo, I think 45 minutes is a good to call it for this Doobisode. Just wanted to catch up, say hi, welcome all the new fans and Doobs and Doobettes that have joined us on the Doob Radical Gaming channel. It's been a real ride, and just in the future. So yeah, we'll be checking out some of those games. I'm gonna be giving my final thoughts on Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. Samurai Jack Back to the Past, man, it's still. I have to desperately rewatch that show now. So I'll be giving my final thoughts there, where I really found my swing in Mortal Shell. It's kind of funny. The game gets really easy once you know the ebb and the flow of hardening and stiffening yourself to really just take on your adversary. That's what she said. So really excited to just finish and stream that game. And then, yeah, so I'll be going on my little mini vacay next week. So I will come back super hard with all the content. We're going to be getting Marvel's The Avengers September 4th, and on the same day we're going to be getting Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake the same day. I think I'm getting that shipped to me, so I think it'll be easy for me to play one and then the other. And then yeah, and then before we know it, we're going to be getting remothered Crash 4. It's about time. So there's a lot on the pipeline, a lot of content I'll be giving you guys. But thank you so much. Don't want to take up many more of your time. Hope you're having a great day. Stay safe. Support the people you love. And make sure you just keep up with them. Because, man, I feel like there's never enough time in the world to do anything. So, yeah, Doobs, thank you so much. Please make sure to like, share, follow, subscribe if you haven't. We have plenty of gaming content. Something for everyone. Lots of long plays. That's primarily this channel. Sorry I suck at editing, but really I'm just here for the uncut, unedited, untrimmed Doob Radical episodes where you can just really see how to get to A to B, and there's something for everyone. Really, we play a lot of games here. So thank you so much. Have a good night, and as always, we'll be right back.